right, guys. Can you hear me? Hi, Ivana. Thanks for typing that. Don't worry about anything else. Ivana has her own stuff going on tonight. Okay, it's 9:45, and I think I said that
is not factual. Gypsy wrote.
Let me pause this. Can anyone hear me? Okay, here's what's up. I set this up for... Hi, J. Marie. Okay, hopefully people can hear me. I set this up for 10 o'clock. Hi, Adriana. How are you? Oh, tell me how you're doing. Hi, Kathy. Floor, Lexi, J. Marie. Oh, great. Okay. I set this up for 10 o'clock and I should have canceled it because you guys are going to think I'm psycho, but I am like incredibly depressed about Richardson. I can't even, it's like I need time to grieve. It's like I love Richard Simmons. I just really love him. I just can't. I know a lot happened tonight. I know stuff happened with Trump, but like the hardest part for me is that Richard Simmons was like starting to go live again. And I'm kind of laughing because I love him and he makes me laugh. And I just thought like he was going to be a regular part of my life because he was going to be on his Facebook all the time and now he's gone. And I don't know. I really love him. Benton. Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, for the super chat. You are so sweet. You don't have to do that. Mary, all I can say, I can't say too much. You have to look it up. I guess his representative is saying that he passed away, and it's just very hard for me to talk about it. I love that man. I love him. It's kind of like, the thing about him is, he spent years doing this exercise program where he helped women that were very overweight, and he cared for a lot of women who didn't have anyone else to care about them. But then he went into hiding for a period of time, and that made me love him all the much more. Like that he was kind of like, look, I love everyone. I've given myself to everyone for decades now, and now I just need to be alone and like do my own thing. And there was this whole documentary, like, Where is Richard Simmons? And I just fell like so much more in love with him when I watched that. And then lately he's been going live and just like chatting up like crazy on his Facebook. I mean, a lot of people have said that there's some mysterious stuff going on. Like, is his nanny taking advantage of him? Or I don't know if it's like a nanny, it's some kind of a maid or something. It's just really hard because I was hoping for some kind of a comeback, and there's just not a lot of things that I love. And he's one of those things that I love. I love Halloween. You guys are going to think I'm psychotic right now, but I'm just sitting here like in my big chair. It's time for me to put the kids to bed. And it's like, I can't even get up and do it because all I want to do is look at old Richard Simmons pictures. So I just really love him. I'm sorry. Let me see. Lexi, Richard Simmons, Ben, the little boy from Alf Pass. I saw that too. What happened to Ben? Do you know? This is horrible. This is horrible. Oh, all the people I love. I loved Alf, and I don't know. It's just too much. Ivana. I know Ivana and I were just talking, and there's like so much going on in her life. And I mean, there's so much good stuff too. The other day, something really positive happened for me. So I know there's good coming. I know it. I need time to grieve Richard. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot. It was his birthday yesterday. Who? Let me go up. Adriana. Oh yeah, I'm Mary. I know I was late for the live the other day, but I got to see the end of it. Oh, I love Richard. He's one of my favorite people. I'll have to make a video about him. I was going to make a video about him. I just love that guy so much. And I know Ivana lost a friend recently. And I was talking to Nikki from True Crime with Nikki, and there was a pet that died, and I just can't. It's like so much all at once. I want to say this, please feel free to leave the live if you're like, this is just too much, because I get it. I'm sorry. I was talking to my mother-in-law, who I love, the other day, and she is so like energetic. She's younger acting than I am. But she was like, Katie, I'm just entering my life where like every weekend there's some kind of a funeral going on. And sometimes it's just really hard. Like everybody's sick and having this problem and that problem. So I guess that's why we all kind of come together when a big celebrity passes away. It's like just communal mourning for all the grief that we have for people we've lost. So it was really hard to see all that. Hi, T. Hi, Teresa. Good to see you. Richard loved everybody. He helped so many people. Always happy. I know. But you have to see the documentary about him, Mary, because it showed kind of this other side of what was going on, where like maybe he was giving too much of himself to everyone, and he like didn't take care of himself. And I totally I just got that when I watched the documentary. I was like, yes, you don't need to give everything away, Richard. Keep some for yourself, So at the end of his life, he kind of went into hiding and did his own thing. And that made me really happy for him. Ivana says, I love how Richard helped people who felt very bad about themselves, like bigger ladies. Yeah, everybody, not just bigger ladies, like transsexuals. He was just like a big supporter of people who want to be different, and I love that. I'm someone who wants to see all people like just be happy and be together. It's so hard. And let me tell you what else. Now, I know, I'm sorry that I'm jumping around, but like the Richard Simmons thing is really depressing me. But I also want to say that there's another thing that's really depressing me. It's going to seem so minor, but sometimes I just get into these funks and like every little thing gets me. Here's what else is going on now. You guys tell me if this is happening to you too. Everywhere I look, I'm sorry, you're going to think this is silly, but everywhere I look, they are already advertising Halloween stuff. I'm sorry, like there's something about that that just brings me down. Save the holiday for when the holiday is coming so that I can be happy and joyous about it. And here's the other thing. I save money for each holiday to like buy some extra decor items for my kids, but I need time. Like I'm saving for October. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm saving for October so I can buy things for my kids. By then, everything's going to be gone because they put it all out on the shelves already. And I know it's like nothing in comparison to Richard, but like when I put it together, it just kind of is hard for me. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It's just, oh, here's Lauren. Let's see. Lauren.
Hi.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, but I'm having a really hard time. I'm sure that, okay, this is Lauren.
Hello.
From Mothership Explorers. Thank you for coming. This is not going to be a good live. I just hopped on because so many people were waiting. I forgot I set this up yesterday. Yeah. And now I'm like going down a rabbit hole of talking about everything that's depressing me, like that Richard Simmons passed away. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Laura.
That's okay.
You came in at the wrong time. All right. Everyone says hi, Lauren.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm also, and I know this is nothing compared to my guy Richard, but I'm also kind of depressed that they keep putting Halloween stuff out on the shelf. I know that seems stupid, Lauren, but it's like, it's really hard for me. It's like, I want to be happy. I want to wait until the holiday is here and be happy about it.
Right. I hate that too.
They're destroying it.
Yeah.
For me.
It's way too long. By the time Halloween rolls around, it's like, ugh. Get it over.
Yeah, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, and everything's gonna be gone by the time Yeah, okay. So that's so maybe you understand. It's like I kind of live for Halloween, and now like I don't have the money. Like, I save up $200 to go out and buy my decor, and now everything will be gone. That's what happened last year. I won't have it till October. So I'm sorry. I'm in a bad
You know what the other problem is when you have a little kid who really looks forward to Halloween.
Yeah.
And they see this, they're like, well, where is it?
Oh, that's really hard. Oh my gosh. See, I haven't taken the kids in the store with me. I won't, because I can't hear them like fussing about it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really hard for kids who don't understand timelines. They don't understand, like, if you say it's not for 3 months, they don't know what 3 months is.
for sure. Yeah. And a lot of people are saying they'll miss Richard too. So I'm so grateful you guys are here. J. Marie says, it hurts to lose him, but think of it this way. He lived a good life. He was 76 years old. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm glad. He was happy at the end, supposedly.
What
And
happened?
I don't know how he passed away, but okay, so I'll have to make a whole video about it, Lauren, to explain to people. But like he spent the majority of his life in the public eye giving and giving and giving. Like he was well known as being someone who spent a lot of time with his fans, like time with his fans. And then at the end of his life, like for the past maybe 10 years or less, he's completely disappeared. And so people were like, oh my God, like his maid is holding him captive. There were like a lot of conspiracy theories about it. But in the end, I think most people just kind of concluded that he just couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't give everything to everyone anymore. And he just, maybe he was a little sick and he needed to be alone in his home. Like he wasn't going to be the kind of person who comes out and does meet and greets with fans all the time. So all I know about his death is that they said that a representative of his came forward and said that he died in his home. I think it was last night. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm just sad about it. So
yeah, that's how when you were talking about how he was giving and giving, it made me think of that children's book, The Giving Tree. Did you ever read that?
Yes, 100%. That's exactly what he was.
Yeah.
You and I will have to watch the documentary. I have to watch it again and I want you to see it because it's interesting. It's like these people are looking for him. They're like, he was my everything. Like people he used to write to every day and he doesn't write to them anymore. But the thing is, like some people are like, look, he needs to take care of himself. He can't always be living his life for other people, and I kind of related to that. I mean, I thought that was good that he took time away, Yeah.
What's your memory of Richard Simmons?
I just remember going to a babysitter's house and every day she would do some kind of like jazzercise for herself and all the kids to Richard Simmons. And yeah, I just thought he was like so happy and positive. And I think the documentary is really what got me. I saw it a few years ago and I was like, not only was he this amazing person, but at the end of his life, he kind of had to change things. I just found it all really interesting. So I'm and it's sort of like another part of my childhood going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think I'm going to miss him a lot.
I remember watching him too.
Yeah. What do you remember?
Well, I remember my mom and my sister sitting on the couch, not doing jazzercise, but eating popcorn as they watched.
That sounds more typical, probably.
Yeah. Not a lot of exercising going on at my house.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, that's good memories of him. I like that. If you guys have any memories, type them for us too. What do you remember about Richard Simmons? That'll make me feel good. I miss him already. Okay, we were gonna talk about Gypsy, and since I set the live up and everybody was waiting here, I'll go through this. I have some short stuff to talk about with Gypsy. So you heard that she's pregnant, right, Lauren?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what do you think with your knowledge of, I've really dug into all this, but with your knowledge, which is probably a little more surface, what's your thought? What's your first thought?
Oh, which part? I mean, there's so much.
The fact that she's pregnant already after getting out of prison.
Well, I think it was a very impulsive and not well thought out thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't think she's taken the time to take care of herself. I think this was more of a want rather than focusing on what a baby's needs would be.
Right. Yes. So one thing that I want to bring up with all of this is I know a lot of people are very critical of her. And I did want to say that it's just so common that women come out of this type of situation. They get out of prison and shortly thereafter they're pregnant. So I kind of want to sort of put out there that Gypsy is not necessarily doing something that other people aren't doing, and what what I'm getting at with that, with this kind of generalization about things that might happen after someone gets out of prison, is I'm frustrated that there's not as much intervention as I would love for there to be inside of prison systems, like to help people get the therapy that they need, to help people set up whatever kind of job they need when they come out. I think a lot of people come out of prison worse than they went in, and they will make impulsive decisions. They continue on a path of not making very good choices.
What do you think the reason is that they, it's not uncommon for someone coming out of prison to become pregnant?
I think that they need somewhere to live. They're not coming out of prison with enough money to when I say, when a female comes out of prison, she needs somewhere to live. I think that it's frequent that she then either has to go back to a relationship that may not have been very good in the first place, or start a new relationship in order to have an apartment, a home, or somewhere to live in. So then she's coming out of prison. She's not going to have access. Maybe she may not have access to getting birth control, or she may have access to it and not do it because she can't drive herself, but she's living with some kind of a partner that she may be sleeping with in order to have somewhere to live. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but I think that that may be a big part of what happens to many women when they're released from prison.
But that's not the case for Gypsy. So
no, it's different.
What do you think her reason is?
Well, everyone is saying that she's trying to trap him. Yeah. I don't know. I just think honestly that Gypsy's so chaotic that she would have forgotten pills or done whatever, or just not, paid attention to what she was doing. And it was inevitable, no matter who she was with, that her chaotic lifestyle would catch up with her.
Well, she was, she took that. I mean, who knows for sure what pill she was actually taking, but supposedly that Plan B the last time. So
yeah,
that says that she hadn't really taken precautions.
Right. So she knows how to get Plan B. She has access to it. Yeah. I'm just running through. Can you see all these pictures? Look at this. They put up additional pictures on their Instagram, and it's just a little extreme for me.
Yeah. I thought the baby registry was extreme myself. I mean, at 11 weeks.
Did you get to look through it at all?
No, but I wanted to. I was done because I'm also really wondering, has she ever even been around a baby?
Yeah, I know. So I was able to look through it, and that it looked like it was all purchased, right?
Right.
Okay. And then she says that it isn't. So it looked like everything was neutral gender. Like there were some pretty nice big items, and then there were also like some smaller items, and there was definitely like you can just buy gift cards, and everything looked like it was purchased.
Were these things that a baby would actually need?
Yeah, I mean, like there was a stroller.
Okay.
There were diapers.
There were 2 strollers. I didn't see. Like I said, I didn't see the registry, but I heard there were 2 strollers. But you've had 2 babies, so from a mother's perspective, are these items that are necessary?
Well, yeah, from what I remember seeing, it looked like it was necessary items, things I would have put on my registry. But I don't have the registry in front of me, but we should look through it next time we do this. I did see like a car seat, a stroller, a playpen, one of the special new rockers. I mean, I saw like a shusher type of thing that's popular now to carry around to help put your baby to sleep. So I did see some things that I thought looked like actually this is the wrong file. I did see some things that I thought any mother would need. I was just shocked that they would be bought so quickly, but like Gypsy says, it was kind of people were tricking her. They were pretending to buy it, not really buying it, and then saying it was from Dee Dee, but she never got the gift or whatever.
Right. It's just awfully early, in my opinion, for a registry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. For sure.
I mean, she seems to do everything super fast.
Yep. Right. You're so right about that.
So that would be in line with that,
Yeah. Totally. That's a big part of her life. So I found the right file now, and we'll see some additional pictures. Here's a picture. I want to show this one where it's like the two of them lying side by side. The pictures were just too much for me. I don't know. I mean, I think he looks kind of like, there's the one I wanted to show you.
Yeah, nice.
Actually, really like Ken's eye color there. But you know, people are asking who the father is. I'm like, I'm sure there'll just be some paternity test so we can find out.
Yeah, yeah, because there's that whole Louisiana law thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure. So they're going to have to, I think they'll pretty much be forced to have a paternity test done. It would be shocking if it's Ryan's. You know, I have a tendency to believe it's probably Ken's. I'm sure she would have been more likely to drop the pill as soon as Ken was around.
Right.
So I think it makes sense that it belongs to him. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have watched my videos about Ken's sister speaking out, but when I went over and took a look at his sister's Facebook, there's somebody on there who's saying, like, Ken's calling everyone, telling all his friends that Gypsy, you know, tricked him. And that he's flat out saying, like, she did this on purpose. That's what someone on the sister's Facebook is saying. So I can't, you know, I don't know who that person is, but they seem to be involved with the family somewhat.
The sister
so I was,
you love and you want to make soup out of?
Yeah. My favorite sister, I call her Autumn.
Autumn
and
soup?
Yes, exactly. Autumn Soup. And Pocahontas Perez is over there too. Yep. But she's not involved in the other lady who is saying, like, well, Ken's calling everyone, telling all his friends that Gypsy trapped him.
Oh.
And I'm like, she did, because
plot thickens.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, something that's going on with them is she can't live with Ken. Did you hear that part?
Yeah. That's
going
to be kind of hard to parent.
I know. If I was Ken, I'd be angry. I'd be like, I can't do that. I don't want to play some stupid game where you can come to my house sometimes, but we have to move you back to your parents' house if your parole officer comes around. I mean, it's so terrible.
Yeah. I don't think either one of them, especially Gypsy, has any idea how hard this
Ken might be.
Oh, I know. And that's the thing, is I think she's happy to stay with Christy and have Christy take care of the baby.
Totally.
You know? Okay, let me play this part. This is going to talk about Gypsy and Ken.
The father of Gypsy Rose's baby, but they will not be moving in together anytime soon. So it appears that they're actually not allowed to live together because of Gypsy's parole. So her stepmother, Christy, said that Gypsy's going to be living with them for at least the next 11 months. So once the baby's born, for about 6 months, they're going to have to go back and forth between Ken's rental and Gypsy's family's home. Gypsy says that she is not allowed to move in with him and they're not allowed to buy a house together because of the stipulations in her parole. Christy also says that she and her daughter Mia are planning Gypsy and Ken's reveal party. She said that Gypsy had some blood work done to tell what the sex of the baby was, but that they didn't want to know. They want to wait until a gender reveal party. So right now, Christy is the only one to know what Gypsy's baby's going to be.
Okay, so, you know, we've got this information saying that Gypsy has to live at Christy's house. I really think Gypsy's probably like, good. Christy can take care of the baby. That's what I think.
Well, Christy probably is going to have to.
Yeah. I mean, we don't. Okay, let me say this. I will say this. I think that I'm the kind of person who probably made better choices in my life than Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I'd hope.
Many would say, okay? Right. And yet, I would say that I was not my best self until I had my child, and I grew from that. I will say that, okay? When I look back on me before I had my child, I can say that I wasn't the best version of myself. I became so selfless and such really looking back, I gained strength. I kind of became a hero. I could do anything. I remember I used to be tired after night shifts in the hospital. Once I had my child, I was like, oh, hell to the no. I'll just take an energy drink because I have to do it. I have to make it work. I have to take care of my kid. I have to go to work. Like, having my child pushed me to mature, to work hard, harder. It really, it helped me to become the person that I am today. And then I had another child, and I think that also helped make me the person I am today. So in some ways, I believe that everybody can grow a lot, when they have a child. Obviously, we don't want that. We don't want like someone who has no idea what they're doing, like Gypsy, to just jump into it. But I think there could be some maturing that comes from it as well.
Yeah, I think it could go either way.
Yeah, for sure.
I've told people before, this was years ago, before you have a baby, get a puppy. It's a really good,
right.
It's a really good way to find out if you're ready to be a parent, because
Oh my
puppies
God.
are tough.
And she left that puppy.
She left the puppy.
Oh, okay. That is such a good point.
So when she left that puppy, I was like, oh my God, no.
Yes,
no.
She abandoned the puppy. That's crazy. Okay. ADH Good says you can see the baby gender at 14 weeks. So how far along is Gypsy really? I don't know. I'm not even going to play the how far along is she game. Let's just let her have the baby and then do like the test, to see
I knew
who the
I was
father
having
is.
a boy at 9 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on the ultrasound shot that you happen to get.
Right. I was going to say, and she did a blood test too. So I'm pretty sure you can do that pretty early on. But who knows? With her, who knows? It wouldn't. Yeah, Ivana says she left the puppy. That was such a good point. Catherine says, "Hello, beautiful people." Okay, so I'll play a little of this. This was Ken and Gypsy on a live, and they're just being like so immature, and it's just like very classic of what I think they really are behind the scenes. So let's listen to a little bit of it.
We're still deciding. We've got a top 5. It is my kid, bro. Sorry to disappoint any of you guys who hope it isn't, but it's mine.
I think you've answered that one enough, babe.
I know. Well, they keep asking. I'm
sure
just
there's
saying.
about 50 clips that's going to be posted after this.
I don't give a shit. Post them.
It'll be on rewatch.
It is mine. Sorry, bud. And you are the father. I knew. I know that.
Calculated. Hey, if you see any more of that, just advise them to go watch a YouTube video on how to calculate weeks of pregnancy.
Okay.
Informational.
There you go.
Go get educated.
Yeah, go get educated.
All right, so that was just a short snippet of the two of them like sitting on their couch doing TikTok. People are saying they're making like $3,000 to $6,000 per live. I guess on TikTok people send you gifts and they're like monetary or something. I don't really know how it works. But definitely there's no denying that Gypsy went into prison a grifter and came out like probably a bigger grifter than she went in.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah. So she's got the baby registry, which to me is like, if you're making all this money, I mean, you're doing a reality show, you've got all these books out, you didn't need to put up the baby registry, at least at this point in time. You could have gotten like everything that you needed and then maybe allowed fans to send things if they wanted to. It was just so extreme to be like, I'm 10 weeks pregnant. Now I have a registry already. It's crazy.
Where is her PR team?
Oh my God. I don't know. It used to be Fancy Miss Sally, and she's gone.
Well, that wasn't a good choice, in my opinion, for
That's
a
a really good question. You would think that Lifetime would have people working with her, but maybe they're like, it's better for the show for her to just do all these crazy, shitty things. I don't know.
Maybe, I guess. It doesn't seem like
I know that.
Like her.
I'll just put this out there. There's a certain YouTuber who is allegedly in contact with the family who left voicemails saying that she's been told by the family that Lifetime pushed Gypsy to get pregnant.
Yeah,
that they told her like it would be really good for the show if you could get pregnant.
Yes, and she said she was disgusted by it.
See, A Bug's Life. She's perfected grifting 100%, and you can grift so much harder when you have a child. That's what she's doing. I think once the kid comes, I think her show is going to get really big. I think she'll have like drastically increased her ratings by having a child. I think they'll make it kind of like, oh, Gypsy, she doesn't know how to take care of a baby. Watch her learn how to take care of a baby, you
Ah, but
know?
Gypsy said on Good Morning
And I think
America
it's
she
going to
doesn't
be
want that
really
baby
annoying.
on TV.
Barb says maybe they dumped her. Oh, the PR team. Yes, they probably did. Ivana says she wants to be an influencer. Yeah, that's definitely what she's got going right now, for sure.
But she said on
And
Good Morning America
that's
she doesn't
you,
want
Ivana.
that baby
All
to be
right, so
on
I
TV.
also wanted to put out there, and Lauren, we can't hear you right now if you're chatting. You might want to go out and come back in. But I do want to show you guys. There's actually several people on TikTok who are like speaking out about their time in prison with Gypsy. Okay, so these are prisoners at Chillicothe prison, other women who they were housed with Gypsy. Okay. So there are two different groups and they keep going back and forth on TikTok. Of course, there's some people who are fake, but these two are pretty confirmed. And I just thought this TikToker was kind of funny. You can see her handle up in the corner. It's like Cecilia 20. So you can always check her out there. But she is going to give us her opinion about Gypsy and Kim because she just read about like Kim Kardashian meeting with Gypsy. And we all know that the person who could probably really use Kim Kardashian is probably Nick Godejohn. But anyway, Celia, she was housed with Gypsy for a period of time and she talks about what's going on with Kim Kardashian here. Let me just add this.
Okay. I don't care what anybody says. Kim only met Gypsy and put her on the show because it would make herself look good and make the show look good. She doesn't care about Gypsy. Everybody's saying, oh, Kim's gonna help Gypsy with all the haters and she's concerned about her prison reform and how she's gonna do out here and all that other stuff. No, Kim could care less. Like, Kim is selfish and only cares about herself. I'm not surprised that her and Gypsy hit it off because they're both selfish and only care about themselves. They're like two peas in a pod. Like, I feel like if she would have met Taylor Swift, like her and Taylor wouldn't have hit it off because they have two different personalities. They're two different people. Like, Kim and Gypsy are like the same person. So, of course they would. Like, if I'm not even a big Taylor Swift fan, but if I had to pick between Taylor and Kim, I'm going to pick Taylor. Kim sucks. Like, she's sucked since the first season. She's been selfish since the first season. Like, who likes her?
Did anybody else?
I thought that was kind of funny. Now, Celia has some immaturities of her own going on, but she was kind of pointing out like it's weird that Kim Kardashian would meet with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Maybe they're two peas in a pod, but I know a lot of people were talking about how Kim, the person who really needs your help is Nick Godejohn. Okay, now we're going to hear from Crafty Mom 2009. She's going to talk about these ladies who are friends and they were in the pod with Gypsy Rose and they're kind of talking a bunch of schmeck about Gypsy on TikTok, and then we'll go right into listening to the ladies themselves talk about it.
See the live or even recordings of the live where there were two girls talking that were actually in prison with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. They made some statements that excuse me, were very interesting. So many people think that Gypsy did not partake in the actual physical aspect of the crime itself. They think she legit hid in the bathroom the whole time while Nick did the deed. Guys, what they show on TV is not factual. Gypsy Rose took a plea bargain, first of all. She did not go to trial.
So this influencer is going to make kind of an important point that I don't talk about a lot on my show. Gypsy did take a plea bargain. And with that comes a lot of positives for her, that the prosecution in general was not going to focus on taking her down. They needed all the evidence to go towards Nick, who did not want to take the plea bargain. Are you there, Lauren?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. We hear you. I'm sorry. It could have been something on my end earlier too, but thanks for coming back in.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's kind of, reminding us that Gypsy did this plea bargain. So maybe we really haven't heard the whole story. And we've certainly been hearing that for the past, I don't know, 7 months from Fancy Maselli. And I think some of it is true. There's always kind of an in between where some things are true, some may really be the way that Gypsy says that they are. So I kind of go back and forth.
Gypsy also got sympathy and pity placed on her because of the story that she gave of the alleged abuse that her mom did to her. Now, I'm not saying that Dee Dee didn't do a lot of the things that Gypsy claimed, but there were a lot of things that were exaggerated, and I know that 100% to be fact. For example, Gypsy did not have near the amount of surgeries that she claimed to have. How can you say in one statement that your mom kept you so heavily medicated that you didn't always know what was going on and that you struggled to remember a lot of things, and then in another statement claim that you for certain had all of these surgical procedures? But your medical records that have been put out there, not something I went digging for, super haters, your medical records indicate that you did not have all of the procedures that you claim that you had.
Do you have thoughts about that, Lauren? Because I've kind of...
I
felt
honestly think it's all irrelevant at this point.
Right. I can agree with that for sure. I mean, I have said on my channel, people don't always like it, but I appreciate those people who disagree with me but stick with me anyway. I definitely think Gypsy Rose was abused. I think there was Munchausen's. I think there was medical abuse on some level. And it's kind of hard for me when people want to say that nothing like that happened, because I think it did happen, and it is an important part of what happened with the story. But it doesn't mean she didn't do the things she did. It doesn't mean she isn't the person she is today. So it's just kind of interesting to me that some people believe it's all black or it's all white. And to me, it probably falls somewhere in between. Just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. She was raised by a woman who scammed to get by.
Exactly. Yeah.
And had her daughter help her out to scam. As you said earlier, it's a lot easier to get sympathy and money when you have a child.
Right. For sure. And I think that the idea that Gypsy should have been like, oh no, I can't do that, mama, it just isn't realistic. I think that kids
anything different.
Right. Kids do what they are taught to do. So, and of course there are people that everybody has the right to make their own decisions, and some people will make better choices than others. We get that. There's a different child may have done something a little bit differently. I won't take that away from people. And then J. Marie says, and I think that this is what people really want to put out there. It happened, but just maybe not to the extreme that it was originally, put out there. And I agree with some of that too. Okay, let me finish up with this girl.
Keep in mind that Nick states that he only, I'm going to say jabbed, but you guys know what I mean, Gypsy's mother. I think it was 8 times. I would have to go back and look at the documents and stuff. But she was jabbed way more times than that. And how do you think?
She can try to sue me. She really can.
Okay, so that was Crafty. You can go back and look at her name if you want to check her out. She's just talking about her opinions about, what happened with Gypsy and Nick, and the fact that she's been watching a lot of TikToks with former cellmates of Gypsy. And this is one of them right here. She goes by the handle, it looks like Chubby Girl YYY. You can check her out on TikTok. And she brings another girl in who she's friends with, who was also in the pod with Gypsy. And they just kind of talk about Gypsy for a little bit. And I thought it was funny. Let's watch a little bit, Lauren, and then we can chat afterwards. Okay?
Yeah.
I am not worried about Miss Jip Jip. I did not watch her show. No, I'm probably not going to, just because I literally, when I hear her talk, it's so annoying. Like, she got on live after I was live last night, and I tried to watch it, and I literally could only watch for like 5 seconds of it, and just had people tell me what she was saying, because I literally could not. Yeah, Gypsy was not a lesbian. Gypsy didn't, if she, like I said, a girlfriend, it's they used her for canteen, which she claims she got like $500 every 2 weeks. Okay. Your spending limit's $800 or $80 a week. So, yes, she did hang out with the pedophiles and the child molesters. Those were her people. Those were the gang of people she hung out with.
So this, parolee, former prison cellmate, I think it's interesting that she makes a big deal that Gypsy was basically hanging out with the people that nobody else would hang out with. I don't know if that's true, but it's interesting to think that even in that group, she was a little bit ostracized. I mean, you usually don't hang out with the sex offenders unless you're a sex offender. And she wasn't known for coming there for that reason. Now, I do think she has major sexual dysfunctions going on. So maybe that was why she was drawn to that group. I'm not sure.
I was thinking more it was because she was raised, in an abusive situation, and that she was comfortable around people who had been abusive.
Abusive to her?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
not that they were abusive to her in prison, but
Mhm.
that she was used to being around her mother, who was
Right.
abusive.
Yeah.
And that these people might have been somewhat similar to her. I don't know, her mom. I
Right.
have no idea.
Yeah. Or even like people around her in general. Like, my interactions with Christy have not been the best. Like,
Right.
I really see the entire family as being kind of toxic.
Yeah.
So there's that going on too. Let's listen to the rest.
She did know their charges. Everybody knew who the Chomos were. The innocent thing is an act for sure. Yes. She was literally coached and trained growing up how to speak and talk in interviews, and she knew how to do that. Her mom taught her how to do that. She was absolutely not even close to being a leader of anything. Her real voice, we don't know her real voice because her voice is completely different in prison than it is right now in real life.
He talked way worse. He talked all high and pitchy.
Hell no. I can't even. I can't even do that.
Hi, my name's
Her
Gypsy.
voice was so squeaky.
So funny.
No.
Yeah, she would talk like this.
Oh,
I mean, she told, like I said last night, she did tell some people in there without straight up saying I did it. She told some people that she did it without saying she did it. Like, that's where.
Okay. Sorry, my mic was muted. I don't know why. Catherine, you are right on target with this. Okay, so we're listening to these girls all talking shit about Gypsy, but Catherine says they seem to be jealous of her successful grift. Yes, it's very hard. Like, I find it really interesting to listen to a lot of these people who have been part of the lives of Gypsy or Christy. I actually, I'm talking to someone who was part of Dee Dee's life, and I find this really interesting. And yet, like, when you talk to anybody in this situation, and quite honestly, I would be the same, there's always going to be some kind of motivation behind it that they may not even realize. Like, they may think they're telling you the truth, but their truth is only how they remember it. What was going on in their lives is going to shade how they see Gypsy, how they see what she was doing in prison. So I do keep that in mind. I still find it quite interesting.
The whole like stab wounds come into play. Nick has came out and said he only stabbed Dee Dee 7 times. And out of like the 17 or 20 stab wounds, 7 of them were the deepest.
Yeah, literally. He said, did she ever get jumped? Hell no. Gypsy ain't getting no fights.
No. Fuck no. She pulled an OJ Simpson for sure.
Hell no. No R. Kelly shit.
She was not the leader of the pod. These comments are so funny.
Man, I swear.
Keisha says this is also middle school, 100%. And to me, it's interesting to see it because you do see that these are the people that Gypsy was surrounded by. And then she comes out acting middle school. And I mean, these women are older too. They're in their 30s. Some of them are a little bit younger, but it is kind of like you realize that this was her community. You get raised by your community in certain ways. And she came out acting this way.
Was she protected by people in their fuck no?
Hell no.
Oh.
Gypsy need to tap in with us.
Yeah, how do I do that?
Fuck, I don't know. She probably won't accept it anyways.
He hung out with the chomos and the pedophiles. Like, you don't, that's like, you don't do that. You get labeled as one. Gypsy that was there with us for a while before we all left.
She got there before we got there.
No, we got there before she did.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right, that's it. You can check out if you have TikTok, you can go and look at some of these names and check them out. They have additional videos about Gypsy and like their time in prison with her. And I do agree with everyone saying like this is kind of immature. Yeah, I think that this is sort of like showing us what it was even like in prison for all of these people. Let me make this kind of bigger. Yeah. So when I see someone talking out about what's going on with Gypsy, I do have a tendency to run and check it out. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Here's what's going on for me. I don't really want to watch the reality show. I think the reality show is fake, but when I see Ken's sister, his real sister, speaking out online about something, and then Pocahontas Perez jumps in and everybody gets in a big fight, it tells me who these people really are and what they are really up to. And I don't know, it's like they're Bayou, New Orleans, born and bred. And everybody in every walk of life, in every community is different, right? I'm not saying everybody in New Orleans acts like Gypsy Rose's family, but you definitely see a lot of things going on with them that, each member of the family has in common. Like things that happen with the grandparents are happening with Rod. Things that are happening with Gypsy have happened in other places in that family. I mean, maybe not to the extent of what Gypsy has done, but we all know that there's a background of Dee Dee kind of messing around with her mom. People have even accused Dee Dee of offing her mom. I just see this like whole generational thing going on there. And even though Christy allegedly, gave birth to and raised 2 children in, a much better situation than Gypsy was raised in, I still see a lot of toxicity with Christy. I don't think that Gypsy's getting away from all the toxicity by now becoming, Christy's daughter, her new daughter. So it's kind of difficult to watch. I'm more into seeing what's going on for real in these people's lives than really watching the reality show, which I think is very doctored in certain ways. Catherine says, Gypsy can't contact other felons, even though she does. Yeah, that was a big thing. I know, like, that was something that Christy Blanchard came to me about because I was communicating with a couple of people. Gosh, I forget what her name was. It was this girl that was very close to Gypsy, made a TikTok for her, was sending her money in prison. And Christy communicated to me that the reason Gypsy can't be friends with this person anymore, kind of left her behind, it has nothing to do with her anymore, is not because she doesn't care about her. It's because her parole requires her not to talk to these people. That's what she wants people to think that that's why. The Gypsy isn't just leaving people behind. She doesn't just use people and leave them behind. It's because of her parole. But the narrative is always being shaped by Christy in pretty extreme ways on social media. Lauren says, it seems like Rod has a level head, but is not the head of the household. Just my opinion from clips. Yeah, I mean, I think many people have said that Rod has frequently throughout the lives of his children, he's just been gone. He's been working. He's been on a ship, and he's been the main provider. So, you know, I mean, I do think that there's a long history of Rod sleeping around. So I know that many people are like, Rod doesn't seem that bad, but I think he intentionally lets Christy do whatever she wants. He doesn't get too involved in anything. And a part of that is because he wants his life to be free. You know, he didn't want to have to raise Gypsy. I'm going to be really honest with you. I think we all have a tendency, I really do, we have a tendency to give the father Rod a pass, where it's sort of like, wait a minute, he could have stepped up and saved this girl. And I don't think he wanted to. I mean, I'm glad that he is a part of her life now, but I don't get the sense that he was really trying all that hard. All right, guys, I got to head off to bed because my kids, there's a lot going on here in the house, but I was so glad to see all of you. I'm sorry I had kind of a rough time when we started. I'm going to be spending some time, really just dealing with my grief about a lot of what's happened over the past couple of days. But I'm glad I got to speak to you tonight. And we are planning to do some videos and some lives over on Mothership Explorers. You can always click on Lauren's icon and follow her over to her channel. We'll have some videos up over there pretty soon. Thanks to you guys for being here today. I hope I'll catch you again next time when we head down another rabbit hole.